Welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is bioplastic. So last week I had told you about a problem, that is single-use plastics. So I've come up with a solution in today's lecture, that is about bioplastics. So let me give you more details about what is bioplastics and how they are usually produced and how this can be beneficial in more detailed manner. So plastics, we have seen that the major issue here is it is produced from fossil fuels, and we already have a lot of crisis for fossil fuels. And the most problematic thing with plastic is they release something called as phthalates, and these phthalates are plasticizers basically, and they lead to a lot of health impacts. So the major issue with plastic, it is poorly recycled, and that is leading to a lot of issues. So coming to bioplastics, these are biodegradable materials. So that is the most important thing that we need to remember. So these kind of plastics which are produced from a renewable source. So since they are produced from something renewable, something organic, the name is given as bioplastics. And this can majorly reduce the problem of plastic waste. And the major advantage of these bioplastics is that they have exactly same properties as that of the ordinary plastics. But they are produced from a natural polymers or natural organic material. So most of the time they try to use either agricultural residues, cellulose, potato or cornstarch waste. So any kind of waste which is rich in organic matter like carbon and other things can be used here for the production of bioplastic. And one more thing which we need to consider is what condition should be given for this bioplastics to degrade. So that also needs to be taken into consideration, whether simply discarding this can degrade it, or you need to degrade it within a industrial composting facility, or natural environment itself is capable. So this needs to be addressed, and that will help us in understanding the potential of this particular material. So according to legal standards, these kind of bioplastics should take a maximum of 6 months to degrade. So if there is any bioplastic that is developed, so if it can degrade within 6 months, okay, so then that can be called as a bioplastic according to the legal standards. And this covers approximately, this is going to cover 10% of the European plastic market within 10 years. So there is going to be a lot of scope for this particular bioplastics, and we already know we are producing a lot of waste, that is food waste, and these kind of materials also can be used for the production of bioplastics. So this is just to show you a few images of bioplastics, and this is the actual process, how it is done. So I told you, you can try to use any waste material, or you can try to use organic material. So this is some of the materials they have shown here, like corn, sugar cane. So these are food materials, but if you have any kind of waste products, that also can be used for this production of bioplastics. Like when you do the food industry, the food packaging, a lot of food will be wasted. Those kind of waste products also can be used for the production of bioplastics. So once this organic matter is there, you need to have organisms. So these are the main things which are helping us for production of bioplastics. These organisms might be genetically modified once, or they might be in the natural sources. So these organisms which will consume this as food, and once they consume this, they produce this kind of bioplastic material. And the dominant ones which are produced are polylactic acid, PLA, and polyhydroxyalkanoates. These are the two important or the dominant bioplastics which are widely produced as of now. So once these organisms consume these, they produce certain acids, ethanol and other products, and they can be later combined with some natural resins and other products to produce bioplastic. So using the normal plastic injection molding technique itself, we can try to produce bioplastics. So it can be produced like this. So you can see the image here. So this is how in this particular case, the bioplastic bottles have been created, and this you can see the decomposition process. So they have shown you that this particular product that they have produced can decompose in the normal UV sunlight. Okay, the normal sunlight is capable enough to break it down. So this is the degradation shown here. You can just see as the days pass by, day 1 it is a normal product, but as the days pass by, once it is thrown away after its use, it starts decomposing. So day 28, day 38, day 58 and day 80. You can see at day 80 there is nothing left over. So this is how we need to sustain. So this is going to be the future, and that is how these bioplastic industry is going to have much more scope in future. So not only bioplastics like PHA, PHA has got a lot of scope even in food grade packaging. So even in food grade packaging, this kind of PHA materials can be used. And now with the food delivery systems coming up and e-commerce coming up, we know how much of plastic waste is generated. So this can be a good source and good alternative for those kind of single-use plastics. So this is to show you some more products. So even your organic waste feedstock, your lignocellulosic waste, so agricultural fields, a lot of lignocellulosic waste is created. Even that can be used for the production of bioplastics. So a lot of companies can think about this and see how they can try to convert this waste materials into something useful and make it beneficial to the society. So there is a saying like food. So if they're using corn for production of bioplastics, we have already having a lot of crisis for food. So how to balance that, what to do? So just to show you that the land use estimation for bioplastic. So even in 2022, the land requirement for this bioplastic production is very, very minimal, which is approximately 0.021%. You can just have a look at that in comparison with food and feed, which is 25%. So it is not going to have a major impact because now we are trying to focus on waste materials, that is lignocellulosic feedstock or organic waste, which can be used for the production of bioplastics. So coming to the type of bioplastics, we have different categories. We can use starch-based bioplastics, cellulose-based bioplastics, and protein-based bioplastics. So based on what kind of raw material you're using for the production of bioplastic, they are classified under these particular categories. So bioplastics are capable of introducing in almost every sector. So this is just to show you that in what all industries or what all sectors they can have their application in. So almost everything. So wherever plastic is being used, that can be replaced by bioplastic. So your flexible packaging, rigid packaging, consumer goods, textiles, whatever may be your sector, bioplastics can go into that particular sector and replace the plastics which are creating a havoc for us. So coming to bioplastics, I told you PHA, that is polyhydroxyalkanoates, and polylactic acid. So these are the two main categories or dominant bioplastics which are widely used. So these kind of bioplastics, they have their application where they can be used even in biomedical. Okay, so biomedical applications, they have a huge potential there because they are biocompatible. So we know that if we are using metallic stents and metallic materials, there's a chance that you will have some issues later. You may have to remove those later. But in this case, since it is biocompatible, you will not have much more problems if that is incorporated into your system. So again, they have developed few 3D printers which can develop biodegradable stents. So these biodegradable stents, what they are produced here, you can just have a look here. These are the small stents which is approximately 8.5 mm in size. So this can be used for cardiovascular problems. So when you have certain blocks in your cardiovascular systems, so this can be of some help. So this is already approved by FDA, but yet it is to get approved for the clinical application. So it is in the process. So a lot of research is going on in this particular field, not only in stent development, even also they are working a lot on drug delivery systems, where these kind of drugs can be encapsulated within this bioplastic material so that it is biocompatible and it degrades with time, and the drug efficiency can be enhanced. So in this way, a lot of research is going on in this particular area. So some more details to tell you, these are some of the bioplastic companies which are working in India basically. So these are few of them. So they are focusing on almost everything like packaging, water, packaging, beverages, insulation materials, specialty materials. So we know that we are producing a lot of plastic waste. I told you about this in the last lecture about single-use plastics. Basically more than so much million tons of plastic. Just to give you a statistics here, in 2015 itself 300 million tons of plastic was consumed. Out of that, only 2.1 million tons, that is only 0.7% of it is bioplastic. So you can just imagine there's a lot of scope going to come for this particular bioplastics. And I already told you that even waste materials they are trying to work on to produce bioplastics. So if the technology works out well, and if they can produce these bioplastics at much economical rates, and the technology is made more and more feasible, there is a lot of scope to come up in this particular sector. So this is just to show you that the food waste, we know that when food decomposes as it is, so if you discard your food waste as it is, instead of composting, if you throw it here and there, it generates something called as methane gas. And we know that this is a greenhouse gas, and that is why we are seeing a lot of global warming. So it can warm your globe and lead to more issues to you. Instead of that, the same food waste can be converted into PHA. So I told you what is PHA now. It is a bioplastic material. So by using microbial engineering, so microbes are required. So microbes will eat this, they eat this as food, and they produce PHA. So these kind of PHA that the microbes produce can be converted into granules, and once the granules are generated, they can be converted into products. So this is just to show you a biodegradable PHA bottle, and this is the latest stages of biodegradation is shown here. So this biodegradation, again, as I told you, it depends on what condition is required. So that has to be more clear. So based on when they produce the product itself, they should make it clear what condition should be given for it to biodegrade. So these are the benefits of this particular material. It is biodegradable, it is compostable, it is non-toxic. This is the most important thing, because here phthalates are not there, and most important thing is it degrades with time. So this is the most important thing that we need to remember. So this is one more company which is working in this particular area in India. This is the largest sustainable packaging company, Ecoware. You can just Google it and you can get more information on this. So they have made almost 125 million pieces till date, and they are giving a lot of scope for women workers. 30% of their team is women workers, and they're using the same technology of thermoforming, and they're using biomass itself to convert into bioplastics. So their main focus is green process, so that they can have a circular economy. So this is the most important thing. We should plan for a circular economy and try to create no waste, okay? Because whatever we use, if we can try to reuse it for some other purpose, that would be the best choice. So trying to use waste itself for production of products can be the future. And we know with the food delivery systems and e-commerce coming up, this is going to have a lot of scope, and more companies can come up in this particular sector. So even though I told you so much about bioplastics now, there are a few challenges which we need to address. That is creating awareness about these bioplastics, making people aware about this, and corporates, definitely they have to be more sustainable. They should think about sustainable options, and bioplastic is one. And definitely the regulations and mandates, this should be done. And technology stabilization is very, very important. And coming to reduction in cost. So this is the hurdle as of now. These bioplastics might be costlier compared to the conventional plastics that we get as till date. That is because the technology may not be stabilized as of now. So you know that anything, a new technology comes, it takes time to stabilize. And at that time, the cost of that particular product is definitely going to be slightly high. So that should not impact actually. And with time, definitely this technology is going to get stabilized. And once the technology gets stabilized, definitely the cost of the product is going to decrease. So customer awareness is going to be important here. And technology stabilization, as I told you, should be given utmost importance. So coming to the takeaway messages, so definitely we should try to shift from the single-use plastics to sustainable options. But for this, again, how much of these bioplastics are available in market, that will definitely matter. So government should take more and more initiatives to give subsidy and any kind of support for these kind of companies which are coming into this field of bioplastic production, so that the technology stabilizes and the cost of these bioplastics which are available in the market will be cheaper than the conventional plastics, or might be almost comparable, and then definitely people will afford it and they will try to shift from this particular single-use plastics to bioplastics. So there has to be strict guidelines, as I told you, and that only can help. And the companies should come forward for sustainable options, and they should come forward with this clarity. So with this sustainable future in mind itself, we can try to use a lot of waste material and try to convert that into wealth. So thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, and please like this video and share this video with maximum people if you feel that this video was worth watching and sharing. Thank you.